Hey everyone, good morning, or good evening, or good afternoon, or whatever, wherever you are in the world. Gonna do something a little different today again. No mask this time, but I'm gonna drink some green tea, which I don't normally drink on camera. Well, I never have. So, yeah, today's the first. I'm remarkably well rested today. I don't normally get enough sleep nowadays. I'm just too busy. And yeah, I have a bad habit of getting up and checking my phone when I wake up, and that really hurts my sleep quality. But not today. So, this is what I'm drinking this morning. There we go. That is organic green from Zhejiang in China. Um, this is certified organic to Chinese standards, so it's not certified to the same level as stuff would be from Japan or the US or the EU. The EU has the highest standards of all for pesticides and for organic certification. So while it's not certified to that level, it isn't tested for as many pesticides and chemicals. It is tested to a higher standard than is normal for China, which to me is at least somewhat better. So yeah, I love this tea. It's very calming. I don't get any ill effects at all from it, and it's been my daily drinker for a while. Okay, so I'm brewing in a vintage gaiwan without a lid. I bought this without the lid just because I like the quality of the painting so much. It's extremely nicely painted, and I think it's an '80s gaiwan. So yeah, the painting and how thin the porcelain was really sold me on this. And it's got a really lovely saucer as well. Oops, some water dripping there. But yeah, the rim is slightly scalloped, and it's just a beautiful vintage piece. I paid a bit too much for it, but I'm very happy with it, and it's perfect for drinking green tea this way. So, I don't use temperature control. I've been drinking tea for a long time and just have never owned a kettle like that. Instead, what I do is I use a system of pours. I use three pitchers to get my temperature to where I want. In my early years, I thought each pour would drop the temperature by 10 Celsius, but that actually really threw off my brewing and really messed up a lot of good sencha and gyokuro. Jokuro. I'm not entirely sure how to say that correctly, but yeah, I had issues because of my estimate, or rather, what I'd read that said each pour was a 10 Celsius drop. Once I adjusted to 5 Celsius, after someone tested it and found 5 Celsius drop was more realistic, my tea brewing's improved a lot for greens. So, I pre-boiled the water. It should be around 98 or 97 Celsius now. But let's go ahead and fill up the first pitcher, which is a little Dai pitcher, purchased from a Dai dealer in Guangdong. And then into this pitcher. I bought this in Tokyo for sake, actually, but I've seen it used for tea in China. So I suspect it was manufactured in China for the Japanese market. And then into my third Gongdao Bei, which was actually my first. I've been using this same pitcher for 7 years, and it's held up beautifully. Okay, so I'm going to pour around the rim of the gaiwan so I don't scorch the leaves. It's not really scorching, but that's what people call it sometimes. You just don't want to hit the leaves with hot water directly, since you might over extract a little and bring out some more bitterness than you want. So we'll let that sit. And I'm very casual with my green tea brewing. I don't time it or none of that. I do sometimes, especially with Japanese stuff, but for the most part, with Chinese greens, I just kind of let them sit. And yeah, that's what I'm doing today. Just letting the leaves do their thing in warm water. So say we started at 97, we got 92, 87, 82, and then 77 in the gaiwan, if my estimate is correct that it was 97 Celsius and each pour is a 5 Celsius drop. So yeah, round about the right temperature, maybe slightly cooler than I usually brew, but that's fine too. It should make for a very pleasant tea, and it might be a little more delicate with that 3 Celsius difference. And that 3 Celsius difference does make a difference in my experience. Oh, you may be wondering what I'm wearing. This shirt is from Borneo. I spent a lot of time out in Borneo a few years ago sourcing items for a different business of mine, and I found the local tribal culture very interesting. I couldn't actually get the shirt in Kota Kinabalu, so I did actually come across it on Facebook from a small group of designers, and I had a friend in Jakarta order the shirt, have it shipped to Jakarta, and then sent on to me, and I sent her something from here in exchange, and we kind of worked out a trade. But yeah, it's a cool local design, and I like that it's a blend of Indonesian youth culture and tribal motifs. Like the Dayak are very proud of their tribal heritage, and I love their patterns and the intricacy of their tribal designs. So yeah, I don't wear this shirt very often, but I have been more recently because I've lost some weight. Been too busy to lift weights, and yeah, I'm losing muscle. So I need to get back in the gym for sure. But for now, I can enjoy wearing stuff I can't otherwise wear because it fits a little too snug otherwise. Okay, let's see what's happening with this tea. So some green bean notes, but it's very sweet and aromatic as well. A good deal of complexity. Nice umami, sweetness. Very nice indeed. So what I'm gonna do is drink about halfway down and then refill and continue until the leaves are exhausted. Now that water is cooled down, so I'm gonna pour again once I'm ready. So without a lid, I have to use my teeth to hold the leaf back. It would have been nice to have had the original lid for this gaiwan, but yeah, I guess it got broken over the years, and this is all I could get. But I'm very happy with this regardless, even if I have to use my teeth. Also, I find brewing lid off stops the leaves from stewing, which is an issue. So yeah, very sweet aromatics here. Maybe a hint of caramel as well. Nothing I can really pick out this morning because this tea's changed quite a bit over the year. This was picked before the rains in spring, pre Qingming. Qingming is a major festival in Chinese culture and in China, and it's a public holiday down here in Hong Kong as well. It's a day where you do things for your ancestors in Taoism, and tea harvested before Qingming is considered the best in China, especially for green teas and for oolongs as well. This tea is extremely common. So I like to drink green tea in the morning before anything else because of the polyphenol hit. You have theanine, EGC, ECG, and EGCG, among other polyphenols. And the science is still kind of up in the air about what each of them do. But I definitely feel very good after drinking green tea, and anything else I drink later on in the day won't get me quite as buzzed either. So there's a combinative effect from drinking good green tea, for me at least. So I'm very happy to drink this in the morning, and I try to start my mornings off like this if I can. It's a lovely way to wake up. And let's top up. So 3 pours again. And one thing I like about this method is if I'm out of town, if I'm at a hotel or something, or at someone's home, I can still brew delicate teas using pitchers. I don't need temperature control because I kind of know where my temperature is going to get. And that makes the system kind of portable or adjustable to different situations. If you're relying on a temperature control kettle, well, you're going to have issues if you're used to temperature control. Um, would I ever get one? Possibly, but they don't last as long as other kettles do. I'm still using kettles I purchased in 2012, and they're still running perfectly. So maybe if my kettle dies, I've only had one kettle kind of die on me, and it was because it sprung a leak. It had a plastic gauge on the side to show you volume, and I threw the kettle in my suitcase when I flew to Manila in the Philippines, and it got battered around in my suitcase and started to leak around the plastic gauge bit. But only if I hadn't used the kettle for a while. Once I boiled water in it, the plastic kind of expanded and it didn't leak at all. So I actually don't know where that kettle is. It's here somewhere. But I have other kettles to use anyway, so. Yep. So, Chinese pan-fried green teas have a reputation for tasting like green bean, like longjing or longjing, for example. But this stuff has a lot more sweetness and sweet character to it, and depth. So I actually prefer this to a lot of longjing because it's more complex and sweeter and aromatic. It's also a lot cheaper than top grade longjing, which is really expensive, really really expensive. Plus, this is certified organic, at least to Chinese standards. So I feel good drinking this stuff. Very nice. I'll show you the leaves after I'm done because they're actually very pretty. Lots of fine tips in this. And I feel so good today, I may actually make it to the gym today. It's definitely a goal for the day. So yeah, that water was a little bit cooler, but that's fine. The gaiwan is still warm from from the water in it. It's it hasn't had a chance to cool down fully. So this is kind of my method. And if I feel that the water in the kettle is too cold, then I eliminate one of the pitchers and I only use two, and that keeps the temperature higher, or rather, it doesn't cool down from the third pour. So this is Jay's little method for drinking greens and whites and yellows. For fresh whites, anyway, I prefer to use 90 Celsius. I go cooler and hotter for aged stuff. I'd use full boil even. Okay, I'm going to set this down for a second and let it brew some more. So, do you guys drink green teas? A lot of people who drink pu'er and oolongs, especially roasty or oolongs, won't drink green tea. But for me, this surprises people sometimes. I drink the entire range of teas, everything from the freshest white all the way up to the oldest heita. So let me know, what do you guys drink and why, or why not even? Like, why are there certain teas you don't drink? It could be personal preference or just health reasons or whatever. Just let me know. I feel great. This is one of the best ways for me to start my morning. Like, drinking fresh green tea on an empty stomach is just amazing to me, and something I should really do every day if I had time. I may follow this up with a little yoga since I'm so well rested today. I feel amazing. Yeah, I really need to get a proper night's sleep more regularly because it's horrible for you not to. And I used to be so particular about it, but I'm just so busy nowadays. I have so much to do. And yeah, I often don't allow myself enough sleep, or I even sleep at the warehouse, which is not ideal at all. All right. So I notice sometimes that the heavier components or constituents of tea liqueur sink to the bottom when you're brewing it with this method. So you kind of have to swirl it around or top up to get everything evenly distributed again in the liqueur. So something to keep in mind when you're brewing with this kind of method, or yeah, in a tumbler. A lot of people like to brew Chinese beans in a tumbler as well. That's in a tumbler and not on tumbler. I mean, I don't know people on Tumblr like drinking green tea. I'm sure there are people who do. All right. So the leaves start to look a little less green as well as the leaves infuse out, which means I'm probably taking some chlorophyll. Which makes sense because the liqueur gets greener as well. Like it gets green. So if it's green, that means I'm probably drinking chlorophyll. What else would be green? I don't know what other uh, photochromatic pigments or whatever are in tea leaves, but definitely chlorophyll. And this tea is dynamic as well. I'm getting different flavors from it now. Hint of seaweed, but a very light, fleeting hint. It's not very marine. Some date as well. I very often taste a medjool date in tea, which is amusing to some of my regular customers who read about me drinking tea on Discord because it's something I say I taste all the time. And I didn't before, but now I regularly do. Little hint of cardamom in this as well, which I haven't noticed before. That's interesting. Green cardamom. So yeah, this is definitely cooling off. I've got to top up with hotter water for the next one. Lovely umami. And that cardamom spice note's quite interesting. So, only two pitchers this time. I'm pouring around the edge and or over to this side because little bits of leaf got stuck closer to the rim since I'm using my teeth to filter the tea. My teeth and my lips, like certain there are leaves that get stuck on the rim, and I like to wash them back down so they get a chance to brew some more. I feel great. I feel really, really relaxed from the polyphenols. It's probably the theanine, but I don't know what the other polyphenols really do. We don't know for sure. All I know is I feel great, and I should do this more often. I should do it every morning. I do it most mornings nowadays. I do drink this specific green tea most mornings. And the reason that I drink this green tea is I brought it home to test for the website, and I never took it back to the warehouse. So it's become my daily drinker. Interestingly, no one's bought this specific tea. They've bought other greens, but not this one. So if no one else buys it, that means I drink it. I'm not complaining either. It's excellent. But yeah, that's one thing about perishable teas. Like if I buy them and they don't sell, I'm stuck with them. And I personally only like to drink fresh green teas since they lose some of their punch over time. The exception is Vietnamese green tea, like stuff from Thai Nguyen or Thai Nguyen in Vietnam in the highlands is their stuff lasts like years. Like it just doesn't lose aroma. It's still great to drink years on. So I'm quite fond of that stuff. I do have some aged stuff over there that I could try, and I might actually give that a try soon. So I'm curious to see how it's held up. It should have held up really well, but I haven't touched it in a couple of years. It's pretty close to being done now. This these leaves. So this will be my first tea of the day, and I will definitely drink something else. If I start with greens, I need at least one more session to make my day complete. I try not to drink more than 2 sessions a day, just because I have issues with caffeine if I overdo it, and then it'll affect my sleep quality later on. So yeah, I will drink another tea today. Will I do it on video? I'm not sure yet, but I am drinking this one with you guys. And very often I don't know what my my meat and potatoes tea of the day will be. I don't know what it's gonna be. It could be liu bao, because we've been talking about that on Discord over the last 24 hours, and I'm kind of craving it now after all the discussion. I almost bought a kilo of top grade liu bao last night, but I'm holding off until I sell more pu'er from my stash, since I have so much tea to sell that's aged and is now ready for sale. So once I sell some of that, I can look at buying other stuff. But for now, I need to sell tea more than I buy it. I tend to buy more tea than I sell. So yeah, a light hint of cardamom and vegetal notes. Very sweet and pleasant. And that's what the leaves look like. Oop, just spilled some liqueur there. That's alright. I'll just wipe it up. But yeah, that's what the leaves look like. So very pretty tea, very calming, excellent quality, and it won't break the bank. So if you want to try some greens, I do have several greens that I'm really, really fond of, and this is up there for sure. And not just because I drink it every day because I left the bag at home. It is a really good green tea and well worth trying. Alright, that's it for now. I might be back with another tea later, but happy tea drinking, and thanks for watching.